had two terrible rounds. Bathurst, the crash there. Phillip Island, Lakeside, Coke Machine really have got their act together and looking very competitive at Winton this afternoon. Gardner in fourth, Crompton in fifth, and Jones wants to change their party.
Doesn't get any closer.
Oh, he gets a little bit sideways, getting the power on the Peter Jackson Ford there. He doesn't want Crompton to go away as they head up towards Suzuki corner onto the Dunlop Straight, coming up to complete 28 laps.
He might be young, but he's certainly no baby when it comes to handling a Group A touring car. Glenn Seaton excels behind the wheel, and I think John is really vulnerable now.
Look how close Seaton gets out of GIO corner that time around, right on the bumper of the Shell FAI 18 car.
John will only be doing exactly all he has to, nothing more. He won't want to exert it any more than he has to. He knows Glenn's got to get right up alongside him.
Yes, it's called defensive for the final few circuits at Winton.
Well, if he is going slower than Seaton's potential race speed, he's doing a very good job of controlling the pace from the front. You look at their lap times, they're only a tenth and sometimes down to a hundredth apart. And Seaton, there just isn't anything he can do about this unless he actually gets in front of this car. And Bow knows that, and he's doing an excellent job of blocking him out. Tremendous pressure driving, 28 laps of 34. And John Bow proving what an ace he is in 95. Back onto the pit straight once again. The clock up 29 laps. Time running out for Glenn Seaton. He knows it. The pressure's on. Brock moving more and more into the picture. Last time around he had it down to 4.1 seconds. This time around 3.7. He's brought it under 4.
He's done a great job, Brock. He's hardly been noticed, but he's getting there. I think the laps will beat him. If he was a little bit closer to Glenn Seaton, it might spur Glenn into a little more combat with Bow.
It'll give him a good starting position for the second heat, Mike, and he's done that all season long.
And he's the only man running in the 61-second bracket on the track now. The two leading Fords have slipped out to 62s. So Brock currently and consistently the fastest man on the track. But as Mike said just before, maybe time and lap times will beat him. Lap 29 coming up to complete 30 this time around, a 34-lap race.
John's car still looking very stable coming onto the main straight where he would be giving it maximum boot.
Doesn't seem to be sliding around.
It is not sliding around yet, and I think it is frustrating, Glenn, that he may think John's a little... Oh, that was a little...
You know why? Because
Wayne Gardner's come... Oh, Crompton up the inside of Gardner.
And that's what they tried to do to cover. I reckon there might have been a bit of radio talk going on then.
See Jones' car just snap sideways and trying to get the power down onto the back straight. And Crompton capitalised there, sneaking past Gardner. So Crompton now up to fourth position.
And Jones down the inside of Gardner.
Looks like Wayne's cooked his tyres up. Crompton doing a better job rubber-wise, up to fourth.
And here's Johnson. Sorry, Alan. Yes, you're right.
Alan Jones sneaks through. Terrific dice here.
Well, they're all thinking about the finish because it gives them a good starting position for the next heat.
So there's Wayne Gardner in the gun sight. So Dick Johnson sneaks up the inside. Is there going to be a tap here? Yes, a little bump there. Gardner gets pushed wide. Johnson, some aggressive dive. Gardner's coming back at him.
Yeah, I think Gardner said, hang on, that's unfair.
Well, Dick's given Wayne a few taps in the past, so I think Wayne will be getting a bit aggro about that sort of situation. Johnson, though, has managed to push his way through. Mazira comes through in the tow, so Gardner really slipping down.
The interesting thing at the front of the field is going to be the leaders coming up on a whole bunch of lap cars within probably the next lap, because Seaton is getting closer.
The leaders just completed 32. 2 laps to go, and look at Thomas Mazira coming up to try and capitalise on this problem with Gardner. But Gardner covers his tracks, and Mazira gets right out of shape.
I did not like that one.
Whoa, gets it very sideways too. And one of the Winfield cars moving up to try and capitalise on that. Jimmy Richards.
There wasn't enough real estate there to decide 2 bites in that corner. He had to decide one or the other.
So Wayne gets a bit of breathing space thanks to that little lose from Thomas. But Gardner really is struggling now. He's slipped up into the 65-second bracket, so maybe the tyre's heading south. Crompton doing a great job. Here's the lead.
And this is the lap cars that I was talking about, and there's Brock closing. Fascinating finish coming up to this heat with John Bow, car number 18, Shell FAI Falcon, leading. Second spot held by Glenn Seaton at 30, and Brocky all over them. Brock has made a huge amount of ground.
He's really come up, Mike, and lap 32 just completed.
2 laps to go.
I think we're going to have a photo finish here.
4 kilometres of action. They didn't think Brocky was going to be able to do it, but he's taken an enormous chunk out of this lead. He's going to be right on Seaton the next time they come onto pit straight. Could Brock do the big desperate on the last corner?
I'm not sure, but they've got 4 privateers to deal with, and Bow is going to have to hedge his bets here. the way he attacks, because if he goes the wrong way on one, Seaton will be up the inside of him.
Yes, he will have to judge it very, very carefully.
Brocky's picked his tyres properly this weekend. He's gone for very conservative hard tyres in the previous 2 rounds, but he knows now is the time to start taking chances if he's going to win this championship. He's on a softer tyre, and look at the speed he's getting out of the car.
You're talking about parity. I'd say that's pretty good parity, isn't it? The Commodore has just come through the field, and the pressure is on here. Going to be a fascinating finish to this one. Bow. Seaton thinks, hang on, I might have a chance here.
Got Bobby Pearson up ahead. They've got a lap.
And Brock sitting there, he'll take any advantage. And Seaton tries to make it tight to get back down the inside. Bow already gets there on Bob Pearson. So too does Glenn Seaton, and so too does Peter Brock. They've already got one of the privateers. They head on down to the next right-hander. They're going to have a few more to deal with here. What a finish to this one. They're on their last lap.
This is John Bow's call, and it is up to him. He's got to watch that traffic pattern in front. He hasn't deviated from his momentum throughout this heat.
But Seaton's going to be looking 2 cars out of Bow. He has a look up the inside. Bow's not leaving a gap there. He's got Attard. He's got Larkham, has he? He's got Paul Romano. 3 cars ahead of him. This could be decisive. Bow ducks down the inside of Attard. He's trying to squeeze up the outside of Larkham. Larkham blocks him. Seaton comes through, and Brock on the outside of Attard. Boy, they're trying to thread the needle here. And Bow now is almost clear. He's got 2 more to go. Down the inside of Mark Larkham to the right-hander. John Bow locks it up on the inside of the Mitre 10 car. There goes Seaton, says, give me a shot at him. There's only 1 corner to go for heat number 1. Round 6 of the Shell Series at Winton Motor Raceway. Throw a blanket over them. Bow is just there. Seaton alongside. Brock back in 3rd place. Nothing wrong with this V8 formula, is there? What a fabulous finish. Absolute thriller. Brock just really worked there. Second a lap faster than the leading Fords, and he came through right at the end.
John Bow showed them how in heat number 1. Bowie the winner, 2nd going to Glenn Seaton, 3rd was Peter Brock, 4th place going to Neil Crompton, 5th place a fine drive to Alan Jones. 6th place, car number 17, Dickie Johnson in the Shell Falcon. 7th was Thomas Mazera. 8th, Jimmy Richards, some hard for the Winfield team. 9th was Wayne Gardner. Rounding out the top 10 was Tony Longhurst.